Good morning everyone and welcome to the Durham County Council Cabinet meeting. I'm Councillor Simon Hennig, Leader of Durham County Council and Chair of this meeting. This meeting is taking place on Wednesday the 13th of January 2021 and is being recorded live to the Council's website and will be available to be viewed for a minimum of 6 months. Please be aware that any footage from the meeting can be used in subsequent media broadcasts. I would like to give a warm welcome to members, officers and any members of the public or media who are watching this live feed of the meeting. I think everyone's now aware of the housekeeping rules for us to follow to ensure the meeting runs as efficiently as possible. Please note that if I lose my connection, Councillor Alan Napier, Deputy Leader of the Council, will take over in my absence until connection is restored. Before I move on to the formal business on the agenda, I can confirm we have received no apologies and all members of the Cabinet are present. Item 1, public questions. I understand that no questions were submitted in advance of the meeting. And in accordance with procedure rules, therefore, there are no questions for this part of the meeting. Item 2, minutes. Can I have a mover and seconder, please, for the minutes of the 16th of December 2020?
Move the minutes, Chairman.
Thanks.
Seconded, Chairman.
Is that a seconder? Can I ask for a seconder, please?
Seconded, Chairman.
Thank you. Thanks very much. Can we agree the minutes as a correct record? If there's any dissent, please indicate that through the chat function. Are the minutes agreed?
Agreed.
Thank you very much. And there's no indications, so I can confirm the minutes are agreed. Item 3 is declarations of interest. Can I ask please for declarations of interest from members?
Yes, Chairman.
Councillor Patterson first, please.
Thank you, Chairman. Councillor Patterson, Cabinet Member for Corporate Services and Rural Issues. I'd just like to declare an interest on item 5 of the agenda, please, Chair. Is a local business owner who would be eligible to apply for grant funding, and I will leave the meeting at the appropriate time.
Thanks, Councillor Patterson. Councillor Stevens.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Councillor Brian Stevens and I'm the portfolio holder for Neighbourhoods and Partnerships. I have an interest in item 7, which is the, because I'm on the board of the Towns Fund. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you. Councillor Allen.
Same as Councillor Stevens, I'm on the Saferent Towns Board and declare an interest and leave the meeting.
Thank you. Are there any other declarations of interest, please? If not, can those be noted, and the members obviously will leave the meeting at the appropriate point. So if we can then move on to item 4 on the agenda, which is the County Durham Partnership update. If I can ask Alan Patrickson, Corporate Director of Neighbourhoods and Climate Change, to present the report, please.
Thank you, Chair. This report is to update Cabinet on the recent work of the County Durham Partnership, including the County Durham Partnership Board, the 5 themed partnership boards, the Durham Safeguarding Partnerships, the Better Together VCS Forum, and the 14 Area Action Partnerships. Perhaps goes without saying that the coronavirus pandemic has had a profound effect on individuals, families and communities in the county, and the County Durham Partnership has worked together to ensure that the response has been provided across all agencies to support people through this. In delivering the response, we have benefited from mature partnerships and strong relationships that have been built over time with both statutory, non-statutory and voluntary agencies. And this has ensured that our support offer has been coordinated at both the local and strategic level. The immediate response from the partnership to the pandemic has included the County Durham Together Hub, which was developed last year to provide immediate support for those who were shielding or self-isolating. The County Durham Together Hub has gone on to develop and refine its offer through the pandemic period and continues to support those most in need. More recently, a network of community champions has been recruited to ensure that to ensure that through the pandemic, we managed to get key messages and advice shared with our communities. Through the AAP network, the council has dedicated a £1.4 million COVID support fund to ensure that local projects were able to help those in need and that community activities were supported. And this funding has now been allocated to 291 projects across the county and has also attracted match funding from other sources. The support networks developed by and within the communities of County Durham has quite frankly been amazing, and the report highlights some individual examples among many. Chair, the County Durham Vision 2035 was written together along with partner organisations and the public, and it sets out a mature vision for the county. The vision is structured around three ambitions: more and better jobs, people living long and independent lives, and connected communities. The County Durham Partnership Board has agreed a new structure which promotes alignment with the new vision and the new objectives across the work of the partnership. The report highlights a series of autumn events that were held in October and November of last year, one in each of the 14 area action partnerships, to share information about the county vision and the pandemic, and to gather views of residents and businesses on a wide range of issues. These events were held virtually and were exceedingly well attended, and we had over 1,300 contributions received. The report also highlights the development of the Holiday Activities with Healthy Food programme for school children across County Durham. A total of over £200,000 has been allocated to projects across the county, and although the programme is ongoing, already over 14,500 beneficiaries have been reported. And Chair, the report focuses briefly on the work of the local Safeguarding Adults Board and the Durham Safeguarding Children Partnership Board, both of which have just released annual reports. The second part of the report, Chair, from paragraph 61 onwards, focuses on activities of the partnerships, including the area action partnerships under the three objectives of the County Durham Vision. The projects, as always, are as impressive as they are varied across the county, covering areas such as job creation, mental health, community safety, our youth council, support for armed forces veterans, and the work that we are doing on climate change. Chair, the County Durham Partnership continues to do strong and effective work across the county, some of which we've been able to reflect and represent here in this report. And the recommendation for Cabinet in paragraph 22 is to note the contents of this update.
Thank you very much, Alan. Can I start my comments by again thanking everyone across County Durham for the role that they're playing across our communities in the battle against COVID. The wider County Durham Partnership has really stepped up, working together as ever, and I know will continue to do so. The report details a huge amount of activity across the partnership, with paragraphs 29 to 41 detailing some of the work in response to the pandemic, including County Durham Together and the work of the Hub, the COVID Community Champions programme and the work of our AAPs. During the autumn, I was honoured to attend all 14 of our area action partnerships in their virtual meetings to gather the views of local people on a range of issues. We received, as we've heard, more than 1,300 comments in total, and will report back on our towns and villages reports and the suggestions made shortly. This was also a chance to thank the many local community groups who have done so much to help local people over recent months. The report, as we've heard, also details other vital work of the partnership and its many groups across County Durham, including holiday activities with healthy food, safeguarding, and work on the key principles of our County Durham vision: more and better jobs, people living long and independent lives, and connected communities, with the report covering the work of our AAPs and the other partnership groups within the County Durham Partnership umbrella. So again, I would like to thank everyone for all the work they're doing. I commend the reports on the work of the County Durham Partnership, and Cabinet is asked to note the reports. Can I bring in Councillor Stevens, please?
Chairman, this report highlights the excellent work that has been undertaken across the county by our partners and the voluntary community sector in supporting people throughout the current pandemic. Along with the AAPs who have secured funding for many of these projects, which have delivered the right outcomes for the people of their areas. And this report this morning stands testimony to that work. Chairman, I also say to the Cabinet, support the report.
Thank you very much. Can I ask if there's anyone else who wishes to speak on this item, please? There are no indications. So can we note the report, please? If there's any dissent, please indicate that through the chat function. No indications have been received, so I can confirm, therefore, that the report is noted. And we move on to item 5 on the agenda, which is grant support for business recovery. And if I can ask Amy Harhoff, Corporate Director of Regeneration, Economy and Growth, to present the report, please.
Thank you, Chair. Good morning, everybody. This report sets out a council-led business support package to safeguard jobs and to aid the county's recovery from the global pandemic. The council is focused on delivering support for businesses and the economy to ensure the revival and recovery of our economy, which has suffered so greatly as a direct result of the impact of COVID-19. This proposal will provide £5 million of available recovery grant funding. This funding is proposed to enable the recovery actions of businesses and is in addition to other funds which address issues such as loss of income. The scope of the fund has been carefully developed to ensure that it addresses gaps that exist within current funding streams and existing programmes. And the grant has also been designed to be flexible to a business's size and scale, and also to the different sectors that have been affected by the pandemic. Grants will be available in the proposal from £1,000 to £40,000, and there is a maximum of 75% grant from the council to the proposed investment, which means that 25% of any intervention would be funded by the applicant or business proposing a scheme. We forecast that this will support an estimated 880 businesses in total, and the detail of those forecasts are set out in our report. And we also estimate that this will safeguard or create up almost 1,800 jobs, with 1,780 jobs in total. The full eligibility criteria is set out in section 17 as a summary, and appendix 4 includes the full details on which projects proposed will be assessed. And the bid will be administered by Durham County Council, and subject to its approval today would be available to launch from tomorrow. Larger bids will receive some independent review, and overall the report seeks support to delegate the decision for bids to the Director of Regeneration in consultation with the Director of Resources and Cabinet Member for Economic Regeneration. There will also be an internal panel made up across the council to assess and to support bids. Our full recommendations for this report are set out in section 11 of this report. Thank you.
Thank you, Amy. Can I now invite Councillor Carl Marshall, Cabinet Portfolio Holder for Economic Regeneration, to speak, please?
Thanks, Simon, and morning, everyone. The COVID-19 pandemic has had a significant impact on businesses and employment in the county, and the full extent and the impact is yet to be realised, particularly with the latest national lockdown announced just after this Cabinet report had been finalised last week. Many businesses have had long periods with little or no income, and companies in all sectors face huge challenges and increased costs in being able to return to normal trading, such as the need to adapt their workplaces, change the way in which they operate, adjust the products and services to meet new market demand, or find new ways to reach their customers, and at a time when they're suffering reduced levels of income. The council has already responded well in supporting companies across the county by processing tens of millions of pounds in various grants since the pandemic began. But businesses in the county require additional financial support to be able to implement plans to adapt and to recover. Introducing a £5 million business recovery grant scheme will enable businesses to look ahead at what they need to do to recover from the pandemic and provide them with the financial assistance they need to take these plans forward. The Durham Business Recovery Grant will be open to companies across County Durham in all sectors, from micro businesses through to those employing up to 250 people in the county. Businesses will be able to apply for the grant online via the Durham County Council website, and support is on hand through Business Durham to guide businesses through the application process. I'm happy to propose that the Council establish a £5 million business recovery grant scheme, which will make a real difference for more than 880 businesses in the county by enabling them to progress their recovery plans and potentially safeguard over 1,760 jobs. On that basis, Chair, I'd like to formally move the report.
Thank you, Councillor Marshall. If we can have a seconder to the report, please. Councillor Napier.
Thank you, Chairman. Morning, everyone. I'm Alan Napier. I'm the Deputy Leader of the Council. I also have the finance portfolio within the Cabinet. Chairman, we can all recognise the devastating impact that coronavirus has had and continues to have on all our residents, our local communities and businesses across the county. This report is all about jobs in the future. My colleague Councillor Marshall has set out in detail how this scheme will fill a gap in the government's response to the pandemic, which we can all agree has been inconsistent and incoherent at times. I have lost count the number of policy U-turns that they have done, Chairman. The report builds on the tremendous work we have been undertaking in the payment of the grants to businesses under the various business grant schemes, where we have paid out £115 million worth of grants now and been at the forefront of getting the various schemes implemented quickly and efficiently, despite the delays and constantly changing guidance surrounding those schemes. As we enter into what will undoubtedly be a prolonged period of recovery, it is essential that we do what we can to help protect jobs. Supporting local businesses to recover is essential to ensuring that the impact of the pandemic is not exacerbated by deep and prolonged economic impacts and loss of further jobs. Chairman, I'm more than happy to second the recommendations as set out.
Thank you, Councillor Napier. Can I ask if there's anyone else who wishes to speak on this item, please? If not, can we move on then to agreeing the report and recommendations? If there's any dissent, please indicate that through the chat function. No indications have been received. Can I ask if the report is agreed?
Agreed.
Thank you very much. I can confirm therefore that the report and recommendations are agreed. So if we move on then to the next item on the agenda, which is item 6, social value and local wealth building. Again, if I can ask Amy Harhoff to present the report, please.
Thank you, Chair. This is a joint report with Regeneration and Corporate Resources, and this report is to update on a programme of targeted interventions that seek to use the Council's buying power and role as a policy creator to ensure that we drive local value. This report sets out then the social value and local wealth activities that the Council is delivering and will continue to deliver, as well as a number of additional activities to ensure that we have a stronger County Durham pound and ensure that the residents of County Durham are part of and benefit from the interventions and investments that the Council make. The impact of COVID on our community is a challenge for so many, and this is part of a broader programme of recovery activities that the Council are driving forward. The Council is developing a number of measures to support recovery, including the recovery grant that Cabinet have just discussed, as well as other initiatives such as the successful bids into the Future High Street Fund, where we saw almost £20 million of investment secured for Bishop Auckland, announced during the Christmas break. In addition, the Council is building on its exceptional track record of delivering social value to do much more, and I'll talk in a little bit about some of the additional interventions that we propose. As it stands, County Durham is a national leader in delivering social value and local wealth building. County Durham ensures that almost 70% of its spend as a council is delivered in the North East and 46% in County Durham, and this places the area as a national leader in ensuring local wealth when we compare to other large authorities doing similar initiatives. This report updates members on 10 key initiatives for 2021 that will further drive local wealth and ensure that we continue to grow this agenda. The full details are set out in section 32 of this report, and including work such as stronger partner working, so that the Council will work with other large institutions in health, in blue light services, the university, to use our collective buying power to support our communities. It sets out our approach to inward investment, to supporting suppliers through the procurement process and ensuring that our local businesses can maximise the take-up of grants and support available. This report is to note, but the recommendations are set out in section 11 of this report.
Thank you very much, Amy. If I can now ask Councillor Marshall to speak, please.
Thanks, Chair. I'd just like to start by putting on record my thanks for the tremendous amount of work that's gone on over a vast number of years to position Durham County Council as a national leader in this area. The report titled The County Durham Pound provides an update about the Council's work regarding social value and local wealth building and highlights the work going on to support the achievement of the Council plan objectives and the economic challenges caused by COVID-19, as well as assisting work on our climate change emergency plan. The Council's responded very well to these challenges and is a national leader regarding social value with a very healthy local, small and medium enterprise focused spend profile that's set out within Table 1 in the report. This report shows 10 initiatives that will broaden the impact of this work and work wider across the Council, and also by collaborating with our local partners who have also large budgets to spend. Chair, in essence, this report's about local money supporting local businesses that in turn create and sustain local jobs in County Durham. And I encourage members to acknowledge the progress to date and to support the 10 initiatives set out in the report, and propose that we welcome further updates on progress being made later on in the year. Chair, I fully support the recommendations and move the recommendations as set out in the report.
Thank you. Councillor Napier.
Thank you, Chairman. Like my colleague, Councillor Marshall, I would like to pay tribute to the tremendous work of our procurement team and lead on this agenda, not only locally, but nationally through our chairing of the LGA Special Value Task Force, where we also continue to influence national policy, advising the Cabinet Office and ensuring that national guidance reflects on this important policy agenda. But I would like to give a special mention to Darren Nowd, who is heading this up. He's doing a tremendous job, as well as the team that he oversees, Chairman. At the end of the day, Chairman, a continued focus on maximising the impact of the Durham pound is primarily about jobs and sustaining employment in County Durham. Every pound of spending we make in Durham results in local wealth creation through businesses that thrive, sustaining more jobs in our county, where those employees will then spend their earnings locally, sustaining more businesses and creating more employment and so on, Chairman. It's not a difficult equation. I welcome the changes to our procurement rules to provide greater opportunities to local businesses to access our contracts. I also welcome the other projects and initiatives outlined in the report and would encourage others to take a similar approach to help build on the tremendous work this council has done. Chairman, we're being asked to note the report and I endorse its findings.
Thank you. Can I ask if there's anyone else who wishes to speak on this item, please? If not, we are being asked to note a series of in the recommendations. We are being asked to note the report. If there's any dissent, could you please indicate that in the chat function? There are no indications, so can I ask if the report's agreed and that can be noted?
Agreed.
Agreed.
Thank you. So I can confirm that we have agreed to note the recommendations in that report. If we can then move on to item number 7 on the agenda. I'll just give a minute for the members who need to leave at this point. So item 7 on the agenda is the Bishop Auckland Town Fund submission approval. And again, I'd like to ask Amy Harhoff, Corporate Director of Regeneration, Economy and Growth, to present the report.
Thank you, Chair. This report sets out the progress to develop a submission for a town investment plan to secure funding from the town fund identified by government earlier at the end of 2019. The report sets out the timescales and process to submit a bid, including details of the governance and process that the council, as the lead authority in this process, has to follow. The fund is part of a national programme of up to £3.6 billion, and towns who are eligible to apply for the scheme were identified by central government as part of their initial announcement in 2019. And for County Durham, this included a proposal for Bishop Auckland, and therefore the council has focused its bid for Bishop Auckland. The government guidance is prescriptive insofar as the requirements to set up a board, guidance on the membership of that board, including specific members who need to be engaged. The guidance requires that the council act as the lead council or accountable body in submitting the bid and supporting the process. Town boards are advisory, but the guidance is very clear that the bid must be submitted with full support of a town board, and therefore the engagement in this process has been absolutely critical to its development and to its end process. The process for the development of a bid is set out in section 9 of this report and gives further detail on the requirements to submit the fund. Bids must be focused on particular areas of investment, and this includes connectivity, skills and enterprise, and urban regeneration. Bids are guided at up to 25 million, but there is provision in the guidance that bids of a significant ambition and opportunity and of significance and impact can submit proposals of up to £50 million. And the Bishop Auckland Town Board have indicated an ambition to submit a higher amount bid, subject to the outcome of the public consultation, which commenced on the 11th of December. The lead authority also worked to receive a check and challenge session, which is supported by government, and this gives feedback on the bid so far, and this will be key in considering our eventual proposal into government. The full town investment programme requirements are set out in section 24 of this report and include the role of the board. By way of update, the board have met regularly throughout this process and since March 2020, and have met virtually throughout the pandemic. The membership of that board is included in this report, and board members have taken active roles in work stream which have included regeneration and skills in line with the guidance. The further consultation detail is set out in section 33 of this report, and our latest consultation builds on previous engagement with the community around the Bishop Auckland Master Plan and Brighton Bishop Board, and this latest round of consultation is very much seen as part of an ongoing engagement with the community that will continue throughout the process. The full recommendation of this report is set out in section 13, and because of the bid timescales, we're asking Cabinet today to delegate the authority to submit the bid in line by the Director of Regeneration, Economy and Growth, and to be guided by and with the Town Board. That's the end of the report for me. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much, Amy. Again, can I ask Councillor Marshall to come in, please?
Thanks, Chair. And just before I speak about the specific challenges and some of the opportunities here in Bishop Auckland, I'd just like to reassure members of the Cabinet and members of the wider community that will continue to challenge government on the criteria for bidding into these national schemes. The bidding criteria precludes us from bidding for more than one town, and we know we have several towns across the county that could benefit from similar investment to what we're able to draw down for Bishop Auckland. But that said, I think Bishop Auckland, like many towns in County Durham and the North East, has got some very, very complex challenges. It's uniquely placed to be able to look at the future with a degree of confidence, though, Chair. Its history and heritage provide a foundation on which an ambitious future is being built. The involvement and financial investment that has and continues to be made by the Auckland project, together with the direct support of the Council and other key partners, is of national significance. On Boxing Day, we learned that the town has been awarded £19.9 million as part of the Future High Streets Fund, and this report outlines another significant opportunity to secure funds from government to support the delivery of the vision for the town. Last year, the Council was charged by government to set up a town board to oversee the production of a town investment plan, which will form the basis of a bid for a town deal funding to government. The report explains the makeup of the board and the Council, together with key stakeholders in the town, have been working over the past 8 months to pull together ambitious proposals. It also provides members with details of the process and what guidance requires us to do. Although the timing of the bid submission and the Cabinet meeting means we're unable to consider the final document, the report provides a clear summary of the key areas of potential investment that is being proposed. Although the investment will be made into the town itself, it will generate benefits across the wider South Durham area in view of the strategic importance for the area. I understand that the vision that is being proposed has received strong support from local people and businesses. That vision combines 3 key ideas. The first, to establish a world-class visitor destination of international importance. The second, a 21st century bustler market town and service centre for the whole of southwest Durham. And thirdly, its important gateway to the undiscovered Durham Dales. These ambitions are in line with the Bishop Auckland Master Plan that was consulted on and agreed by Council in 2019. The projects that were consulted on for inclusion in the submission to government are intended to grow and strengthen the town's economy, maximise the economic and social benefits of a sustained increase in local, national and international visitors to the town, ensure that young people and local residents can benefit from the economic growth in the town, minimise the seasonal dependence by providing an all-year offer in the town, deal with significant infrastructure issues that are a blockage to the town's economic expansion, and provide a solution to the town's poor digital connectivity. The Council has continued to support the ambitions in the town through strategic capital investment via our capital programme. We've also recently approved a grant of over 2.1 million to support the ambitious proposals for the Weardale Heritage Railway. The town fund bid to government will include previously agreed funding as match. It's important to me that the private and public funding that has been invested in the town is focused on improving the lives and opportunities of the town's residents and local businesses that can provide local access to supply chains. I know that the work is currently being undertaken to consider a bid that is above the standard 25 million on the basis that the proposals represent an exceptional case, and subject to that case being made, I would support this approach. This is a fantastic opportunity for the town and for the county, and I understand the timescales involved require us to consider approval of the submission via a delegation to officers in consultation with key portfolio holders. I therefore move the recommendation set out at paragraph 13 of the report, Chair.
Thank you, Councillor Marshall. Can I have a seconder then to the report, please? Councillor Napier.
Thank you, Chairman. Chairman, we can all agree that there is a pressing need for the government to see through on its rhetoric of levelling up investment and tackling the years of neglect and underinvestment in our area. We all want to have thriving and sustainable towns, places where people want to live and visit and where businesses can thrive. Like Councillor Marshall, I welcome the investment being made in Bishop Auckland, but note that there are many other towns and villages across our county that have an equally pressing need for such interventions. Chairman, I await with interest the proposals that will eventually come forward on the Shared Prosperity Fund and the Levelling Up Fund. I'm sure that officers working with the board will help develop the best possible bid for this funding. The more funding that can be attracted to our area will be welcomed by everyone, but this clearly needs to be based on need, Chairman, as part of the government's Levelling Up agenda. More than happy to second the recommendations.
Thank you very much, Councillor Napier. Can I ask if there's anybody else who wishes to speak, please, on this item? If not, can we then move to agreeing the report and recommendations? As ever, if there's any dissent, can you please indicate that in the chat function? Can I ask if the report is agreed?
Agreed.
Thank you, and there are no indications of dissent in the chat function, so I can confirm therefore that the report is agreed. Thank you. We move on the agenda. Item 8 is any other business. I've not been notified of any other business, so that concludes the business for this morning's meeting. Can I thank everyone for taking part, and to those members of the public and media who have watched this meeting. Thank you.